Born in the bottom of Sodom, another slingshot dropped in the rod I forgot. Blessings I have not, beat by the street bittersweet. Love isn't lost, just damaged and damned in defeat by the above cost slum seed sacrifice. Don't have to think twice, roll on the dice in this life. You'll pay a price, so follow aside, I said. In recollection, ghetto and God will provide you with protection. But outside, children dying, politicians lying, cutthroat corporation, gangland generation, execute forgotten, healing, looting, shouting, arms and evolution, love and revolution.
I've been not-for-profit since I was 10 years old. It was my first nom de plume when I started writing on the walls of this city, of this slum, of this ghetto, of mi barrio. But unlike a lot of graph writers, I didn't used to just like to write my tag. I used to like to write things that I considered poems, which were really just fragments of random thoughts that I had during the course of the day, walking the streets. And I quickly realized that it was difficult writing anything extensive on a wall when you had cops on every corner watching everything you did. So I graduated, or should I say, got left back to writing on napkins, writing on paper, or writing in composition notebooks, writing on anything that was legal. Did that for a while. Eventually, I realized I wanted people to hear what I had to say, or at least read what I had to say. So I had to figure out how to do that. I started writing poems. I continued to write poems, and I started calling them lyrics. So they became music, they became songs, and in that way I could get it out there. In the beginning, I didn't really realize that I was writing poetry. When I was about maybe 11 or 12, my father gave me a book of poetry. It was an old book of poetry from I believe, the early 1970s, and it was a compilation of the poems by New Rican poets, people like Miguel Piñero, people like Miguel Algarín, people like Pedro Pietri, Jesus Papoleto Melendez, Sandra Maria Esteves, Bimbo Rivas, and others. And I read it, and it changed my life, and it changed the idea or the understanding of what I was doing. And I realized that I was in fact a poet, because these people were speaking like me, they were speaking with me, they were not speaking for me, they were speaking to me. And it was then that I started realizing, okay, there is this voice and this word, and we say it through this thing that we call New Rican poetry, which is extremely important. My book is called Last of the Puerto Ricans for a reason. Living in East Harlem, living in the ghetto, living in the barrio all my life, I've seen the gentrification that's plaguing us. I've seen us being pushed out. I've seen us being, forced out. I've seen us being forced into the suburbs, forced into everywhere but the places that we made our homes. It's happening in Puerto Rico, it's happening in New York City, it's happening in every ghetto that Puerto Ricans have tried to reside in and have resided in for decades and decades. And it's getting to the point where the only thing we have left is our voice, and they have tried to cut that out of us, but we refuse, and we continue to think, and we continue to write, and we continue to dream, and we continue to create, and we do it all as New Yorkers. And I'm not necessarily the last of the Puerto Ricans, but it's getting close to that. In the meantime, we write, because in the beginning was the word, and the end will be the word.